Greetings everyone, this is Mike Wright, the Astro Sherpa, dropping in with a spatial report. The storm has resided and the water bearer cometh in a Wokesvagon. So we're going to talk about a lot of things right now pertaining to water. So if you see all these planets, Pluto, Mars, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, Saturn, right at the very tail end of Pisces, these are the water signs. Aquarius, the water bearer. So there's going to be some fresh water poured out to those who have survived the storm and now are thawing out and feeling this new energy. Literally, when Venus came into Pisces, the temperatures moderated, they harmonized, they leveled out so that we could unfreeze the hard crystallization of the past. So the things from the past are magnetic. They pull you towards, entropy, things falling apart. But some of those things were good memories. But memories, when we think back on the good times, we're just remembering a good feeling. So we're going to talk about the power of your feelings and how it crystallizes water. So literally the meaning of the water bearer cometh is when you pour in your positive affirmations, you speak good things into existence, that literally crystallizes the water in the body. And they've done experiments on this. So we're going to show you real quick here the secret of water. So you see this water starts crystallizing from the center outwards.
Natural sources, unlike tap water, provides a wide range of crystalline formations. This allows us to peek into the life and health of water.
So they literally did an experiment where people spoke good emotions and these water crystallized things went into beautiful patterns. So when you play bad music, bad vibes, you're around low vibe people, those vibrations are literally microwaving and dismantling the beautiful crystalline structure in your body. So the way you speak, the way you emote, the way you take care of others, or you project your own self, your ego self, which is wounded, you want to damage others' water. So what's crazy is we're going to take you on a field trip and we're going to show you Jupiter here, almost back to 15 degrees, where he'll finish his retrograde right in the heart of the crab. So if you look at our chart here, so I'm looking due south, okay? That's that way, which is right there. Top, right there in Libra. Now, Jupiter is over here in what we call the 7th house, or the western side of the wheel, the zodiac. So as I face west, we'll be able to see Jupiter right up there. The clouds haven't come in and ruined it for us. So if you understand geometry, geo, earth, circle, to the greater concentric circles outside of itself, rotating around a solar central source of illumination, light. So that's what this sun does, is it illuminates us degree by degree. One story every day. Literally 365 stories we get to play out. So this moon is diminishing 300 degrees. So that's in its final 60-degree angle to the sun, which is a sextile. Beautiful, beautiful sextile. Sextile is a 6th part of the wheel. 6 times 6, 36, 6 times 60, 360 degrees. Zoom. Geometry, who knew? And the angles it makes. So we're going to see a triangle out here with Jupiter up here, which is called a singleton in our chart. So whenever you see most of the planets on one side of the hemisphere and only one planet on the other hemisphere, that's called a singleton. So it's like the handle of the frying pan here. So we've all come out of the frying pan of the Capricorn, cardinal season beginning, and now we're in the fixed middle air change, vibration, frequency switch, where we come into that final spiritual phase where the self has disintegrated. Aries is the beginning of the ego self's journey, and then you go around the wheel and it disintegrates. You either end up in prison, isolation, hospitals, checked out, whatever. Pisces is the dream world. So this is where your spirit goes when you fall asleep, but you don't want to fall asleep in this world. That's when you become a king of hell. So looking at geometry, we use numbers and angles. So what's funny is, Wokesvagon, this German company, they use their symbol is a V on top of a W, and that has a hidden symbolic meaning. Vortex math. So if you look here, this is the V and then the W, Volkswagen. So in this vortex maths, if you never are familiar with it, the hidden power of 3, 6, and 9 are outside of the doubling capacity of numbers. So 1 doubles itself as 2, 2 doubles itself as 4, 4 doubles itself as 8, 8 doubles itself to 16. You reduce that, 1 plus 6 is a 7. 7 plus 7 is a 14. 1 plus 4 is a 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. Back to 1. Boom, 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 boom. That's the power of doubling. And then the 3, 6, and 9 are, how this energy moves back and forth from cause up here, 9, to the effect, which is 3, looking at the triangle to 6, which is the swirling movement of nature. So Mars, when we look at Mars, Mars is action, movement, division, separation. It's literally the knife. And you look at that symbol, that would be rotating around, a triangle on top of the circle. So that's that 3, 6, 9 going around the earth right here, 360 degrees, 3, 6, 9. All right, let's go on our field trip here and show you Jupiter. Hopefully these clouds didn't come in. It was clear a little bit ago. So the water bearer, Aquarius. So pour out good vibrations, speak truly, don't talk yourself into bad, ugly forms. So practice kindness, practice high vibes, high frequencies, caring for others. So there you go, there's Jupiter. And right above it are the Gemini kids. So let's look there, right there. So the story is Pollux, he was a boxer, loved to fight, and Castor was the chariot driver, loved horses. So we're literally getting ready to shed the old skin. Happy birthday. The end of the snake, the serpent year, this serpent energy will be put down for 1,000 years so that humanity can rise up to a new dimension. And that's beyond ego identity, but holding on to a unique frequency. That's your unique fingerprint to the universe when you can vibe high. So over there, right past that pole, that's Aldebaran, the follower. So really wild time right now. But this is the time for you to speak into existence your dreams. So you have to manifest positive vibrations and already imagine it happening so that the water in your body can take its form and then it receives the signals. So water literally holds the psychic residue of your feelings. This is proven by science. So anyway, this is a brilliant time for the marriage of the female and male. You know, a new birth, the horse cometh. We're going to talk about Pegasus, the flying horse. So another symbol of Aquarius is the flying man. So that flying man rode a flying horse. And that horse was born out of Medusa's head when it was severed, chopped off, the blood dropped into the sea and created Pegasus. So poor Medusa was the only human of her sisters, and she was made into this ugly form that literally froze people's, into stone. That icy stare. What do we call that? The resting bitch face. So the revenge of the Karens is in place now. So have compassion for all those people with pent-up bad emotions. This is a time for you to, let go of your own bad feelings and, crystallize the water in your body to a higher, more beautiful form. Watch the videos on, this power of water and emotion. They've done huge studies on it. Well, anyway you go, I hope you're well. Tune in, tune up, and participate. Astro Sherpa out.